Historic relics from the most iconic Diablo game in the franchise are disappearing. This may be the final time we ever see some of these items, one of which is the source of an exploit that still exists in Diablo 2 and hasn't been made public until now. Who else puts out this kind of stuff? Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything in the future. When was the last time you logged in to Diablo 2? Not Resurrected, but the original Lord of Destruction. If you can't remember, you're not alone. While many players still log on to Battle.net the old-fashioned way and play this game, the numbers certainly aren't what they used to be, and many accounts have expired. In LoD, your characters had expiration dates that would essentially delete your character if you didn't play it for over 90 days. This was originally put in place because back in those days, you could only have one of a given name on the entire server. So, if your character was named Grandma, no one else could have that name on US East. But with characters expiring, crucial pieces of Diablo 2 history are disappearing forever. So let's take a final look at some of these. And I hope I remember to log in within the last 90 days. That's the key. Speaking of keys, I discovered a nasty website where you can buy keys for all of your favorite apps and games at a huge discount. If you were one of those people that were like, nah man, I'm gonna wait till this game goes on sale before I buy it, well, good news. Now you don't have to. G2A is a peer-to-peer website where you can find people selling crazy shit like this at a wicked discount. There's even people selling Tinder Gold keys for like 45% off. Like, I'm gonna check this for like anything that I get from now on. Massive discounts on things like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and even Nintendo eShop cards. Check it out with my link below and be sure to let me know of the 6 steals that you find, because I'm probably gonna want to snipe them as well. Let's start with some of the glitchy pre-patch items. The devs adjusted the power level of certain attributes that used to be able to spawn on rare items. This was never reverted, even after the introduction of more powerful uniques, crafts, and even runewords. Prefixes and suffixes worked a little bit differently. Strength could even spawn on boots, and large amounts of it at that. These items are not only a piece of history, but are also the source of an exploit that still exists in Diablo 2. Problems arise when we apply newly introduced Herodric cube formulas to these ancient pieces of digital programming. For example, here I am attempting to up these pre-patch boots with the Herodric cube formula, but you'll notice that doing so seems a bit laggy. Really laggy. In fact, trying to do this to rare items like this actually crashes the entire server. This is a huge exploit because not only does it ruin the games of everyone on the server and lock them out for 10 minutes, but it also erases any recent actions taken in-game. Players have used this technique to reroll runewords to perfection and do many other exploitive things secretly for years now. If you were wondering why the servers were so bad just before D2R came out, this was why. But worry not, many of these rares have poofed over the years, not just because they were duped, but also because people let them expire. Of all the historic bugged items in D2, hybrid runewords might be the ones that stick around the longest, mainly because they're some of the newest bugged items on Battle.net. The creation of these was allowed to proliferate for over 2 years, so there's a metric ass ton of these things that were created. Having the most devastating impact on low-level duels, hybrid runewords were a way players could make a rune word, delete the runes inside, and replace those runes with other combinations that offer different effects. For example, this is Enigma of Peace. It's an Enigma rune word with all of the expected attributes of that item minus the benefits of the core runes. This is essentially an Enigma that can be used at level 29. The same could be said for this Grief of Honor. Even high-level hybrids were created, such as Faith of Ice, which because of the Shale rune gave additional attack speed to an already best-in-slot item. Another popular one was Grief of Destruction, adding Crushing Blow and other useful attributes to the Grief runeword. A patch in 2017 ended the exploit that made it possible to make these hybrid runewords, but the ones that were created prior are still around. Imported items may also slowly be on their way out. An imported item is something that has been created on Open Battle.net and in one way or another snuck onto the closed realm. Some of them still exist. For example, the bugged Tal's armor. You can see that the stats are certainly different than a regular Tal's armor and far more beneficial. Years ago, I believed that the item known as Bugged Belt was all but gone from the realms, but a fan reached out to me from Europe to show me his. While these still exist in short supply, fly in that region, they truly are a symbol of a different era in Diablo 2, much like the B mana charm, boasting only 15 to life, but a whopping plus 70 to mana and a level 30 requirement. Many of these that still exist on Battle.net are duped, including these ones. However, the more accounts that expire, the better chance of these dupes being the only dupes of their kind left standing, which ironically makes them permanent items, if that ever becomes the case. While most naturally fused items are long gone from Battle.net, one of the most iconic ones, Whiz Spike gloves, still exist in the hands of a lucky few in the small corners of the realm. A small number of these still exist on US West, and as players slowly forget about Lord of Destruction, these iconic glitched items might be sinking in the sands of time. 08 items of the unique brand are also slowly dying, and we've covered the history of those in another video. Make sure to check it out here. What do you think should be done with the old LoD servers? Should they try to bring them over to D2R in some way? Maybe keep them separate from the other realms? Let me know your thoughts below.